Qualifying, really clean and put some good laps together on that side.
Big picture, primaries, alternates, you're going to get off those alternates as quick as you can because you were very strong on those primaries.
It's tough to say. I think we were really fast, and I think if we had new black tires there, we could have ran a really competitive time, I think, similar to the Reds. So,
congratulations on this pole.
Thank you.
Defending pole sitter, defending race winner here on the streets of Toronto. It's race day. Welcome, everyone. Mark James, Davey Hamilton, Alex Wolf set to take you through the next 25 minutes or so, as this is the final tune-up for the race a little bit later on today. And, Davey, there is no question that Andretti Global has unloaded bad fast. I mean, all of their drivers in the top 10. Kyle Kirkwood walked away. He'll start on the outside of row number 3. He walked away feeling like he threw away a pole run late in qualifying yesterday.
Yeah, and he really did. I mean, obviously, Andretti Global has had the fastest cars, no question about that. Kyle Kirkwood, though, was the one leading that pack every session. And then when it comes to qualifying, just that one mistake in Turn 8 got that car really loose. In Turn 8, lost some ground. Now he's going to start P6, so not where he wanted to be, but his teammate Colton Herta, as you said, pole sitter and winner of this race last year.
As is often the case when we visit Toronto, because it is essentially in some areas a concrete canyon, the busiest people at the facility seem to be the people that paint the walls here.
Yeah, no. Matter of fact, last night in the two-seater going around there was a lot of painting to be done. There's no question about that.
It's just because you are always on the ragged edge here, and because these corners are very, very tight and very unforgiving.
Well, and Mark, surprisingly, this track, as the driver, some of them have told us it's super bumpy out there. And, this track's always had character. It's always been bumpy because it's a street course. But it is pretty brutal. I was surprised how bumpy it was. The areas that, like Turn 8 down bottom, I mean, it literally could rip the wheel right out of your hand. And so it's a challenge around there. And that's why, when you're on the gas and on the edge and these walls are so close, that's why they're bumping these walls. And it is, it's not easy. It looks much easier from looking at a screen or watching them live go around here than it is being in that cockpit, that's for sure.
Interesting to note that overnight showers and an early start has not given the sunshine a chance to do much work. And Alex Wolf, we start with some pretty damn conditions on this racetrack. Why don't you give us the specifics?
Oh, that we do, as sunshine has come back, burning through that early morning overcast, the blue skies, but very different from the rain that we had last night here in Toronto that washed the streets of Toronto off. And so right now we have damp conditions. There are some dry spots around the track. Ambient temperature 71 degrees Fahrenheit, 22 degrees Celsius. Track temperature at 79 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 26 degrees Celsius. Drivers right now on track doing install laps with the gray sidewalled wet weather tires. And it looks like the plan is if they can get a dry line to develop in the course of this practice session, the morning warm-up, use blacks and greens up and down the pit. Going to be the order of the day if they can get that dry line developing.
Well, Davey, that's a big ask to get that dry line developing, especially this early in the morning, as we said. The sun not directly over the racetrack, and so I don't know really what can teams accomplish if they still have questions about how to stack tires in this 25 minutes?
Yeah, I tell you, it's going to be a challenge, and with 23 minutes in this session remaining, I just don't know if a dry line is going to create or be created enough to put the slicks on. And man, they wanted to go out there and say, how long are these greens going to last? How much time are we going to lose on them after they get a few laps on them? What's our primaries going to feel like? And by the way, Mark, what's it going to feel like with full load of fuel going high speed? Well, they're not going to be going full speed on these wets and not knowing what ride heights are going to be. It's not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. These drivers and teams are going to have to do a lot of guessing right now. Now, some of these drivers are out there in the wet, and you might as well try at least get your full load run down. But the tires, man, that's a big question mark.
Well, here's the problem from what I see on the multi-screen monitor. There's no consistent wet line, but there's no consistent dry line either. There's areas of the track where it's completely dry, and then there's other areas where it's completely wet.
And then we talk about through the weekend, we've talked about how so many areas on this racetrack change from asphalt to concrete. Well, that even makes it worse when the water is on it. I mean, and by the way, it rained hard last night, so all the rubber has been washed off this racetrack. There's no rubber down. I don't know if anybody's made a full lap yet. I've seen a lot of outs, a lot of ins. I don't know if anybody's made it through, turns 9, 10, and 11 at this point yet. And we see Colton Herta going around tippy-toeing on those rain tires. tires right now, but it's, man, I don't know if it's going to dry out. It doesn't look like it's going to 100% dry out to where you can put slicks on for sure.
Some troublesome times in qualifying for a couple of drivers that we expected to start a little further up. Row number 8 features Scott McLaughlin, David Malukas. Row number 9, Felix Rosenquist, Joseph Newgarden, Christian Lundgaard on the outside of row number 10. Christian Rasmussen on the outside of row 11. And in row 12, Santino Ferrucci and Alexander Rossi. So some frustration expressed by some of the drivers after qualifying yesterday.
Yeah, I went and talked to a couple of the teams, and it just, you can't make a mistake here. And that's what they all said. They said, man, I just made a small mistake. And as close as these times are, you cannot make a mistake. And they still feel they have good cars, but the track, like I say, is very bumpy. They only got a few laps, to get the best out of those green tires. Because after about 3 laps, they start falling off in speed. So you got just a really short window to get that sweet spot of speed. And I think that's what you see, a lot of frustration with some of these drivers, and especially Kirkwood, knowing that he's been fastest all weekend, and then just that one mistake in qualifying takes him to 6.
Good stories among the front runners. Marcus Armstrong continues his second half improvement. Armstrong on the inside of row number 2. As we mentioned, Graham Rahal with another good qualifying performance. He's done that back-to-back now as he's on the inside of row number 3. And Marcus Ericsson completes the trifecta for Andretti Global, Davey, getting all 3 cars inside the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, they're the team. And you look at all the street races this year, and they've been the team to beat. They really have it figured out. Not that they're not fast everywhere, Mark, but they just seem to have that little bit of extra on all these street courses. And Kyle Kirkwood's been the one to really take advantage of it. The only winner out of Andretti Global, all the cars have been really fast there, but they do. They just have something, and I think every team would tell you that. They go, well, the Andretti Global team, they're in a league of their own, but we're pretty good right behind them. But when it comes race time, so many things can happen. For one, strategy of the tires, when they're going to put the greens on, when they're going to put the primaries on. How many laps do you have to go? Is there going to be early yellows? I mean, there's a lot to play part in it that could take you right out of that game, and so we'll just have to wait and see. As a strategist, I'm going to have greens on right off the bat. I'll promise you, to try to get them on and get them off as quick as possible.
Feel-good story of the season, I think, continues to be Rinus VeeKay. Solid run for him yesterday. He'll start on the inside of row number 5 for Dale Coyne.
Yeah, and a little bit disappointed even though he has a really good run there, and a little bit disappointed because he knew there was some more there, but he continues to impress, and I know that he's really caught our attention, but he's had to catch the attention of a lot of these other teams. It's knowing the situation there. He got hired a week before the season started. He is just getting the job done, and we know Dale Coyne's been around a long time. He's a great guy. They have won races before, but right now, they've just been behind financially. They haven't had the sponsorship they needed. They could still use a lot more income. He's in Chicago, and it's a little bit more difficult to get people up there as far as mechanics and stuff working up there. But he's doing a good job, and when it comes to Rinus, man, the guy just continues to impress me on how good he is and how calm and confident that he really is. So we wish nothing but the best for him and that team, but I don't know if he can stay there. I mean, I'd have to think a lot of these other teams have an eye on him.
You talked about tiptoeing earlier. We were looking at qualifying times in the 59 to 58 second range, and the fastest so far in this session is Marcus Ericsson at 1:16. Now, Pato Award goes in the minute 15 range, minute 16 range, so that gives you an idea of just how much slower they're having to go because of the conditions.
Yeah, and as Alex said earlier, there's one spot going into turn 7 that has a little bit of a stream going across it that you have to be definitely really careful. But that's really the only stream. Other than that, it's just, as he said, damp. It's just wet spots here and there, but not dry enough to put the slicks on. And as you see them, even on the rain tires, they're sliding around pretty good. Got on board with Colton Herta, and he's fighting that race car. As you just said, man, the times are down about 15 seconds. So that goes to tell you the speed difference of these cars.
Let's go to Alex Wolf.
In the pit of the 27 car with Kyle Kirkwood, with Brian Herta. And Brian, I mean, so many unknowns with the tires, with the alternates, the primaries, and just how much of a wrench is this weather conditions with the track throw into it?
Well, I mean, this place always throws some surprises at us. And, the overnight rain, we kind of knew in the forecast that was going to happen. We're really happy with our car, though. So we just kind of went out and just did like an install check. and we're going to sit now. And if it dries out enough, we can get some meaningful running in on slicks. We'll go out. Otherwise, we'll just get ready to go race.
And of course, the importance, usually you have that hot pit at the beginning of the session to be able to do the practice pit stops. But saw your guys do with 3 or 4 practice pit stops just sitting here, and I know that's a very beneficial for them coming into this race.
Yeah, I mean, we're checking off all the things off our list we need to do to be ready to race today. Obviously, getting the guys some reps in on pit stops this morning is important, so we're able to get that all done, and now we're just going to wait and see what happens.
Basically, we're in turn 9 practically of the track, very first pit. I mean, what kinds of challenges does that bring with coming in and then snaking through this pit lane?
Actually, really good getting into this pit box. We got to come in narrow, and we're the only ones that can do that. But honestly, what we worry about is all the cars downstream coming out in front of us and trying to make sure we stay ahead of that. So there's things we can control and things we can't, and that's one of the things we can't, so we're just going to hope.
And lastly, I mean, the confidence level for you and Kyle coming to a street course like this with the success you've had throughout your career together, but especially this year with Long Beach and Detroit.
Certainly a little extra bounce in our step when we get onto these street circuits. The Andretti Global team has been really strong on street courses, particularly this year, and Kyle's proven to be a master of these types of tracks. So we're a little disappointed with the 27 car with qualifying. I mean, 6th isn't a bad place to start, but we know the pace is higher than that in the car. So we're just going to work really hard and try and move forward in the race today.
Appreciate the time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Always good insight from Brian Herta, and one of the curveballs that thrown at these teams when they arrive. This happens year in and year out on road and street courses, especially. Sometimes on these street courses, some changes pop up from one year to the next. Nick Yeoman joins us now. He'll be high atop turn 3 again this year, but a busy weekend for him already there through practice and qualifying yesterday. But Nick, as the teams arrived, there was some repaving that was done leading up to turn number 3. The end result was a noticeable bump that needed to be addressed over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, there was used to be a pedestrian bridge that stretched over almost close to the entrance of turn number 3 that's been removed, and right underneath where that bridge used to be is where that kind of dip in the asphalt that you just described developed. And during the first practice session on Friday, it was brutal for those drivers to navigate that part of the racetrack. Will Power complained of pain going over it, had a headache after practice. So overnight from Friday into Saturday morning, they did try to lay some patchwork and lay some asphalt down there about 400 to 500 feet from the braking zone, or really the entrance of the corner where the drivers really want to start slowing those cars down for that tight right-hand turn. Being out there yesterday, Mark, it helped a little bit. Davey mentioned that out there in the 2-seater, it certainly seemed like it helped, but it is, let's not make any bones about it. It is not smooth down there at all, and it is still really in a nasty spot for those drivers trying to woe those cars down. So they've done as much as they can do, laying down some extra asphalt. I'm sure they will look at that part of the racetrack moving into future years of this event, but that is the nature of street course racing. You come to this racetrack from year to year, it's going to change because of the winter
we always have the ability to know what tire compound and primaries, alternates, whatever. And right now we see essentially 24 cars on track, and they're using a variety of tires.
Yeah, they're all over the place right now. Fastest right now is actually on that primary tire. And one thing, even last week, giving some rides on the road course at Indy with the two-seater, it's surprising how wet the track could be, and slicks are still okay. Now, it's not ideal. It's not the best. It's not easy to drive, but they hang on pretty good once you get heat in them. I think we've seen that with Lundgaard. Rossi is on some greens right now. Rosenquist, there's some on board with him. He's running really good. So, but Pato Ward on those wets and P5. So you're right. It's all over the map. Everybody's getting some time in, but not really, with 6 minutes left, not really doing exactly what they want to be doing, which is long runs, basically, more than likely on that alternate tire, just to see how it's going to last throughout the race.
We do see the fact that there are some significant dry lines, though, starting to develop.
Yeah, and the one thing with these cars, they'll do that. I mean, with all the downforce that we have, it basically means we're getting downforce. That means it's sucking the water off of this racetrack and really dries it as these cars go by. So it definitely does. It dries it better over the asphalt than it does the concrete at times. But it's definitely, there's a line, but it's not perfect by any stretch. And then you still in turn 6, I think it is, a bit of a stream going across there, and you got to be careful going through there no matter what tire you're on.
Another challenge for these teams we mentioned earlier, working on hot pit stops. We've seen some crew guys hanging over the wall during this green flag conditions with the blowers, trying to get that pit box dried up, because that can be a challenge getting in and out of that pit box if that surface is wet.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, it's all about, when it's wet, it's not just about cornering or acceleration, it's big time braking as well. I mean, if you're coming into your pit spot or pit stall and it's wet, you don't want to be sliding through that thing and put your crew members in danger. So they'll definitely, especially between now and the race, it does look like blue skies. I do think this track's going to dry out organically and just be really good. But those pit guys, they'll be down there with the leaf blowers and making sure those pit stalls are dry and ready to go.
Obviously, conditions have improved somewhat because 24 of the 27 cars now, Davey, have taken to the track.
Yeah, I think they see that little bit of a dry line. It's not going to get any better. 4.5 minutes left just to get out there and make some runs and just try to make sure that your car's still good. It fires up right. It has the accelerator. Everything's just hitting on all 8 per se. And just see how bad or how slick it is with this wet condition.
Well, we know you've already kind of put pen to paper, at least in your mind anyway, so give us a little insight on the race strategy today.
Yeah, I think, you have to, on the first stint, if they run the alternate tire, you need to get to lap 15, really to make it safe, to make it a 3-stopper, get off of them at 15, which is fairly early, and then put the primaries on and finish up on the primaries. And I feel that's the best way to do. Now, if it comes up earlier than that, that's going to be the interesting part. You're getting off of the alternate tire, but that may add a pit stop mark, another pit stop. So that's going to be interesting. So it'd be nice if you can put them on there and make your shortest run on that alternate tire, and then put the primaries off from there. But I see it being a 3, potentially 4. If there's an early yellow, that could force these guys into a 4-stopper.
Well, if it's going to happen, it typically happens between 1 and 2 at the start, right?
Sometimes there's a red flag on their own because there's nowhere to go. They block it. We've seen it before where they completely block turns 1 and 2. And as we see Newgarden, he's been fairly brave right now in some of those wet conditions. And Lundgaard, they're making some moves out there right now. But yes, I think turn 1 and 2, you just got to be careful through there. And try to get through there clean, but if not, that is an advantage to get those alternate tires off.
So you mentioned the fact that you think that first window on those alternates, you probably need to go to lap 15 or 16. We heard Alex Below say yesterday the challenge is going to be that they start feeling that deg at about lap 4. That's a lot of laps to get around here with those tires falling off.
That is a problem, right? As a driver, you're going, you want off of them now, but your strategist and your team's going, man, can you just hang on for another 10, and you want to come in right now. So I feel like, early in the race where there's a lot of traffic, that's usually the slowest pace part of the race. You know what I mean? You're all in traffic, and so it slows you down a little bit. Maybe those alternates will last a little bit longer if you're mid-pack, and you can make them work. So we'll just wait. Oh, we got a big wreck in turn 8 as well.
Yeah, that's going to bring out the red flag.
Oh,
that's going to end the session.
Santino Ferrucci, big wreck, yeah.
Yeah, Santino Ferrucci, who had a troublesome weekend as it is, Davey. He was set to roll off on the inside of row number 12, and he has torn up that race car.
Yeah, and I want to say there's a stream in turns 7, a pretty good stream of water, and I'm not so sure. Maybe I haven't seen a replay, but if he gets in that stream wrong, and it looks like heavy contact, no question about it.
He came off of that turn, Davey, and as soon as he came off the turn, he was along for the ride, and he hit the outside retaining wall with the left sides, and then it spun around and hit the right front.
Yeah, and then he definitely on the slick tires, the primary slicks. So, the right front of that car. It's a little crazy. The nose wing looks fine, but the right front is completely destroyed. So, and there's a safety truck kind of blocking the left side that I can't really see right now. But that right front suspension, how do you destroy that? But the nose wing looks good. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting. And what's got to be particularly frustrating is that all he had to have been happy with the race car. He was third fastest, even though, again, the time and the speeds are off dramatically from where they were yesterday. And quite frankly, Davey, the turnaround time is not that great for these teams because we're coming up on 9 o'clock Eastern time, and we're set to green flag at 12:20.
Yeah, that's exactly right. As we see, there's some other debris laying around that they're picking up right now off of that race car. Looks like a brake duct. It looks like Santino actually looking at his hand, too. Hopefully his hand's okay. He has it wrapped, but he always wraps his hands just, to keep blisters off and stuff. So that's normal for him, but he's kind of looks like maybe that right hand could be a little bit sore as well.
He had a string of top fives kind of mid-season, Davey, approaching the halfway point. Had a string of top fives, but quite frankly, last couple of races been a struggle for Santino Ferrucci.
Yeah, he had, I think he gained the most points there for like 5 races. If you had to the center of the season, as you said, that he's getting 5th, 3rd, 4th, and that's exactly what happened, Mark. You nailed it. He came through that turn 7 where that stream was of water. And, wow, that car just hit the right side, got the left front tore off, the right rear, and then he just, along for the ride now. He's going to hit again somewhere because that right front gets tore up, and it looks like, he hits that tire barrier on the right side. So, man, wow, it looks like completely looks like all 4 tires may have got damaged in that incident. Wow, what a hang-on.
Christian Lundgaard, Nolan Siegel, Santino Ferrucci, Alexander Rossi, and David Malukas were the top 5. We won't call them fast because we're at 69.088 for Lundgaard, and we're talking about a 58 or 59 second lap, which was the pole run. So, David's strategy is set. Now it's time, except for the Ford team, that is a race car to fix. But it's time for teams to finalize that tire stacking and their pit strategy. Unfortunately, whatever questions they may have had, those that still had questions, for them, it got to be frustrating because they didn't get a chance to answer those questions this morning.
Yeah, they really didn't. There's still a lot of question marks on this race. We interviewed some of the drivers. I mean, I think they have an indication what the track feels like right now, but that's going to be no help for this afternoon because it's going to be a completely dry track. We got blue skies. It's going to dry out. It's going to get warmer. It's going to be conditions like it's been all weekend, and so they're just going to have to kind of guess on what they're going to do with their tire strategy and what the car is going to do on full fuel load.
Second year in a row, Colton Herta leads the field to the green flag. He was dominant here last year. We'll see if he is dominant later today. His teammate Kyle Kirkwood had been fast all weekend, threw away a lap in qualifying that he felt was a pole run. He'll roll off in the 6th position. How about you rejoin us at 11:30 Eastern time for
Hi, I'm Gary LaVox. One thing you know about me is I used to be the lead singer of Rascal Flatts, but what you might not know is I now use my voice to support paralyzed veterans of America. Did you know buses and trains are accessible, but airplanes aren't? It is why I support PVA. Today, PVA is fighting for accessible air travel, a basic civil right for our nation's disabled veterans and all people with disabilities. Our nation's heroes fought for your independence. So join me in the fight for theirs at PVA.org.
Start your engines, race fans. At Advance Auto Parts, our lineup of free services is like having your own local pit crew. Make Advance your next pit stop, and we'll test your battery for free and install a new DieHard battery with purchase. We also have free oil recycling, wiper installation, and more. Visit us, use the Advance Auto Parts app, or buy online. From the starting line to the checkered flag, Advance will help you get the job done. Advance Auto Parts is the official aftermarket automotive retail partner of the NTT INDYCAR Series.
This is how we advance.
Get 3 months of satellite TV free just by calling. But hurry, this offer ends soon. Now you can get 3 free months of satellite TV when you make a free call right now. That's right, for a limited time, when you call the satellite TV hotline, we'll give you 3 free months of television watching based off your qualified order. You can stream and watch hundreds of channels and music from almost any device, television, tablet, even your smartphone. Stream thousands of your favorite movies, sports shows, and a lot more. Call right now and learn how you can get 3 free months of satellite TV. It's easy. Even the call is free. All you need to qualify is have a valid credit card. This is a limited time offer, and terms and conditions do apply. So please call right now. Paid for by Dish TV. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561.